Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.
And welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm April Martinez.
And I'm Isani Cayetano.
And good morning, Belize. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Isani.
Good morning, my dear friend.
It is a rainy day today. And before we even get started, I need to put out that disclaimer to all of my commuters. Please drive with caution this morning. I'm telling you, at 40 miles per hour with my hazard lights on. The rain was hard. It was raining non-stop from Belmont all the way to Belize City. Please, you don't need to be driving with your high beams on. You don't need to be going at 60 miles per hour. No job is worth you zooming on that highway with all of that rain out there. Get there safely. Please, I have to, because the amount of traffic
basically
this morning,
upon the commuters
please drive with caution this morning.
Yeah.
But yes, it is a rainy Monday, but nevertheless a good day.
For some reason, I've been getting used to the idea of it raining heavy on Monday mornings.
I wonder if it's a Monday thing.
It's like the second or third consecutive Monday morning that I've gotten here.
But it was raining all weekend, I think.
Not really.
Okay, well, where I was, it was raining all weekend.
In Belize City, we had fairly good weather.
Okay.
Friday night was excellent. Friday was excellent.
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday was pretty good, like I said, Sunday. But this morning when I woke up, it would have been like around 5. That's when the torrential
It was
shower
raining
came
from
down.
about midnight last night in Belmont non-stop until I woke up this morning to get ready to come to work. But I was in PG for most of the weekend, where it was pretty rainy almost the entire weekend. So,
well, there's a joke that we like to run with my friends and family from PG, and I know they will skewer me for the following, right? It only rains 2 times in PG. Yes, night and day.
You know, based on the amount of times I've been to PG, I don't think that it's ever been sunny, like, for the whole day. There's always a consecutive amount of rain.
Because that is the part of the country that receives the most rainfall, right? So when you look at Punta Gorda in relation to Corozal, two extremes if you look at it from that point of view.
Definitely. But it was still a good weekend. I hope you enjoyed your weekend as well.
I'm always enjoying my weekends.
Did you do anything eventful apart from mellowing it out?
No.
No?
The way how things are going right now with work, the workload is so heavy that by the time I get to Friday, I don't want to do anything else that requires me to think much or what have you. I just need my time.
I understand. I totally get that. I think that when you have the kind of fast-paced job that we do, and I'll extend it to myself as well, we're always on the go, always on the road, have to cover something in some part of the country. A weekend where you don't have to do anything is probably the best weekend ever.
Well, there we go.
But Isani, as you know, what we do every Monday morning is every morning actually, we try to talk about the headlines, what's buzzing for the day or for the week. And before we left off on Friday, from Friday morning actually, when we were in Belmont for the Children's Parliament show, I got a message that there was a fire in Caye Caulker early, and this was about, I want to say 6:37. I got that message, and so the fires were ablaze at 2 very popular areas, the Cubano restaurant, and of course the sports bar that's right beside the police station. Still no word yet as to how the fire started, but there's more to it than just a fire. in this sense. It blazed for a very long time because the fire truck could not get proper access to the sea in order to assist in putting out the flames.
Well, I can tell you that from our end, a request was made on Friday for us to speak with fire officials in respect of this blaze. I don't know that that request was ever responded to.
Okay.
Right? But what I can tell you is the fact that for a growing community like Caye Caulker, there need to be certain infrastructures in place that allows for emergency responders to be able to get in and get out of certain areas or neighborhoods.
Okay.
Right? That's the first thing. When you have a growing tourist destination where a lot of people are always on the island, either locals or foreigners alike, you need to have, you know, a proper polyclinic or health facility. You need to have a proper police station, you know, a fire station, or
all the emergency spaces.
Yes, you need to have all of these things in place, right? And I'm not saying that Caye Caulker doesn't. Of course it does. But if we discuss the efficiency of being able to carry out one's job in a situation like this, and you would notice that the residents had to resort to the bucket brigade because of them not having, I say them, the fire service not having access to either the sea frontage or to water that would be used to extinguish the blaze.
Yeah,
right?
it's not
and
the
because
first
of
time
that,
we're seeing this.
Yeah, because of that, the damage, as you see, clearly, you know, perhaps there could have been something done in the first instance to save the two structures, but because of what it ended up becoming, you had more damage. And fortunately, because of how close these structures are, and perhaps this could have been worse.
Yes.
So,
indeed.
notwithstanding the circumstance, they were able to limit it to simply two structures.
And just also to say, and we're sticking more to the bright side of things, nobody was seriously injured or harmed in this fire. So we want to also remain with that positive light.
When you disembark at the dock where the water taxis operate from, on Caye Caulker, these two locations are
the first things you see.
Yeah, they're right there, you know, and so in and of themselves, they were landmark locations on the island, and it will be interesting to see how the residents and the proprietors will recover from this disaster.
Yeah, it's not the first time we've seen a fire happen at Caye Caulker, and it's not the first time we've been speaking about the, I don't want to say the inefficiency, but I guess the lack of proper care for these kinds of incidents. The first time I was in Caye Caulker, there was a golf cart that exploded, and it went back to citizens having to put out this fire, and at the end you see the fire truck coming, right, when it was already put out by the citizens. Same thing again with the Mike and Margarita you know, bar, more at the end of the island. So it's not the first time we've seen this incident.
Here's the thing, right? When you see something like this happening, while yes, you're going to make a distress call to the relevant authority, you have to spring into action as well.
Of course, it's a
more so
effort.
if you are directly being affected by the fire in this case, then, you know, whatever attempts you make to try to either save life or save whatever you can, then you begin there. And if other people who see what is happening spring into action as well.
Look at this. Look at this community effort right here. Had it not been for this, you see all of those establishments are very, very close. I know we're talking about the police station, but there are about 3 or 4 other establishments that are right next to these two businesses, right? And so that could have, more people could have lost their places. And we're talking about families being displaced, but it goes deeper than that. You now have people that are out of a job. Yeah.
Well, there is that effect, or consequence when you have disasters that affect businesses and what have you. You will have persons who ultimately will be out of a job until either the business can recover or until they're called back in to come and assist and they, remain employed, so to speak.
Well, I guess we'll keep close tabs on how the fire was actually started.
We're hoping to get word from the fire service at some point in respect of
the
this
investigation.
Fire. Yeah.
All right. But as we move on with our Monday morning show, that's just a bit of what's buzzing. And there's some other things, of course, that we want to touch on. But we do have our Monday morning Eye on the News segment for today.
So on Friday, the United Democratic Party unveiled its municipal slate for Belize City. And on Saturday, they did the same in Orange Walk. And this comes on the heels of the People's United Party convention last Sunday. We had that discussion a week ago, right? So on Friday at the UDP Secretariat, the party was able to introduce to the public, at least in the case of Belize City, the 11 candidates, including the mayoral candidate that will be fielded for the March 6, 2024 municipals. And as I mentioned on Saturday, the party was also able to gather its supporters to introduce to them the Orange Walk 9, the UDP 9 for the Sugar City. So I want to, briefly touch on what took place on Friday here in Belize City with these young men and women swearing an oath to the party that they will proceed to serve and do their best to be able to have the party and its slate re-elected at the municipal level. Well, on the other side, you do have a team of 11 led by the incumbent mayor of Belize City, Bernard Wagner, who is also, doing his thing in terms of, being able to lead the men and women on his ticket. And I say all of this because as the date draws nearer, there will be a series of campaign efforts. You'll see these candidates out in the streets, and
you're already seeing ads on the media and so forth.
For some, you will see some last-minute works, in municipal areas. And I'll take this opportunity, and I'm saying it again, right? This morning's rain reminds me of why the work of the Belize City Council is so very important.
Yes.
And while I commend the mayor for the work that has been done in Belize City in terms of either concreting or resurfacing some of the streets across the city, you can't have street and not have proper drain.
Yeah, of course.
Right? And while I have a nice street, I won't argue where that is concerned. And I've done my part to be able to, cement my drain.
Dig your drain out too. Make sure that it's clear.
I make sure that from my end that is done.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the overall community. And when you look at, water settling on the street, you have good streets, but you don't have proper drainage. You have proper drainage, but you don't have proper streets. So you have to be able to take the two things together.
Yeah.
Yes, right? And so it's just a reminder that while we're discussing, the municipal government, that this is one of their primary mandates that they need to be able to look after.
I definitely agree, and I think that while we're talking about these efforts, I want to be able to reiterate back to the Children's Parliament on Friday, right?
Sure.
Where some of the kids are talking about these social issues, these political issues, these global issues that are taking place, and how they want to be able to speak out or to create solutions and so forth. And while we were having these conversations with these kids, it was not a yes or a no towards a particular issue. It was, yes, we absolutely agree that this is an issue, and we think that the situation will be best cleared this way. Yes, we commend you for raising the child marriage age to 18, but we think it'd be better at 21. So it wasn't like this, no, we not agreed to because that's stupid, or yes, we agreed to because we are a part of the same party. It was more along the lines of having like a decent, logical conversation on how we can help mitigate the situation, right? And I would love to see a debate like that when it comes to our municipal teams, when it comes to our national debates and so forth, because what you're talking about is what you absolutely need. You need a proper balance of solutions when it comes from your persons in power, right?
I can recall, since you're bringing up the topic of debates, that several years ago, quite a while back, there was one municipal debate here in Belize City at the Fordyce Chapel at SJC, where you had Mayor Darrell Bradley, you had Ernesto Torres, and there was the People's United Party candidate. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but that was perhaps the only time that there was an actual debate on matters that affect residents of Belize City. If you're looking at infrastructure, you're looking at taxes, you're looking at the development of the municipality, as it were, that was the only time. But while having a debate is great, and I don't take away anything from the idea of putting certain topics to the fore and discussing it, it's about action, right? And each of these parties have their respective manifestos that outline specifically what it is that they plan to achieve during their tenure. In this case, at the municipal level, it's every 3 years that they would have to renew their mandate. And this is done by way of the public being able to cast a vote in their favor, whomsoever the parties are that are contesting the available seats. Right? So, yes, you do have a mandate. You do have something that clearly outlines or stipulates what you plan to achieve over the course or the life of your administration. And, there are criticisms that go around. You have people who are satisfied with the quality of work and service that they're getting. You have others who are saying, well, look, I am forgotten. There's a rise to power of the respective candidates and their parties, their teams. And once they get there, you don't see them again, right?
Yeah, you kind of forget about
and so
people.
You'll have people who are always for or against and others who are on the fence.
And it's important to be seen, Isani, even if you are just campaigning for, it's important that you go back and you make sure that you check on the persons that you were, trying to get their votes from. I am somebody that I need to know what you're doing. Like I said, when we had the PUP convention a couple weeks ago, I wasn't really sure that Mr. Kawich was running or Mr. Kano was running because I never saw them. And I need to see you. I'm sorry, I know that you're doing your social media campaigns and your radio ads and so forth, but I am somebody that I need to see you in action because I'm not sure what you're going to do. You're trying to convince me for my vote. I don't know what you're going to do. And it's important that after I give you my vote, you have to come back and see me again. It's this balance of, you don't take my vote for granted then.
Fair enough. But here's the thing too, though. I mean, while yes, part of the campaign process is being able to physically be present in terms of having certain conversations in an attempt to persuade the voter. But you start there. You have to be able to, because you haven't taken office just yet. You're seeking a job, so you're doing your best to be able to convince your employer in a manner of speaking,
exactly.
what you intend to do once you are hired.
Yes, but what?
Right?
Yeah.
But face it, not everyone is eloquent. Not everyone is able to deliver a message on their platform as effectively as the next person or what have you, right? So this is perhaps the reason why you do have certain ads, you do have certain messaging that speaks for all, right?
I guess.
Because while I personally respect all the candidates from all the parties and what have you, I would have to come down to a certain level where I'm understanding what someone else would be sharing with me in terms of trying to get me to participate in the vote, right? Everything has to do with being able to effectively communicate what it is that you're intending to do.
Right. Yeah.
So while you have someone who may be more articulate in their delivery, you also have someone who may not necessarily be, but that person is sincere and that person is willing to work. So what do you buy into? The person who can come and woo you, sweep you off your feet, versus the person who comes to you clean and honestly and says, look, this is what I want to do. This is what I need you to do in order to help me to get there and deliver the jobs, the job that I am setting out to accomplish.
Do you know there's no such thing as an honest politician, right?
Well, that's an argument for another day. I share the sentiment. I share the sentiment. My thing is, these are public officials who are employed by the citizenry and enlarge the state, right? My issue is when you're job seeking, you are the most humble. When you've gotten elected, you become the king, or you treat yourself with such an air of superiority that you no longer connect with the everyman that you sought the job from in the first place. That's my issue.
I will always say, and I agree with you, I can say that you can be the most genuine, you can be so good of a person, but politics corrupts. It doesn't matter how good of a person you are. And I know it sounds like I am jaded, maybe I am a little bit, but
it's not politics that corrupts. Let me kind of fix it a little bit. It's power that corrupts.
Yes, the power that you get from the power that you get from that politics, because you will always feel like the ends justify the means. And even if you have to, get into some sort of negative space or negative situation or a corrupted situation to get there, you will justify it by saying it's for the people. Right? And that slowly starts to chip away at your morality.
Look at what takes place, right? I agree with you to an extent. I say power is what corrupts.
Yes.
Not necessarily the politics of it. Politics is what empowers you. Once you get there, then
game of it
start to do what you gotta do. When you look at what happens at City Hall, doesn't matter which party is at the helm. You start hearing of contracts that are being awarded to friends and family.
Because they got you to where you want to be.
You start looking at all of these things where you can argue from one point of view that, look, there are perhaps others who are more qualified, who are more honest in terms of how they do business and what have you, versus the friends and family arrangement, right? And that's part of the reason why I am cynical when it comes to, and I love, studying and watching the political landscape, but when it comes to the actors, so to speak, I become very cynical because I've been around long enough to see that a lot of people are in it for what they can get for themselves and not necessarily for what they can deliver to the populace by way of goods and services.
And that's why I could never support the idea of party politics, because for me, if you are a citizen that is voting for goodness for your community, rights for yourself as a citizen of this country, you should be critical of all, not just the one that is in power, but also the opposition. You have to be watching every single move and listening to the way they debate, listening to their solutions. For me, if you want to argue back and forth that this thing not work and then you don't offer solutions to me, I'm already checked out of the conversation, because what else do you have, right? But we could go back and forth to this topic, but we don't have the morning for it. I do want to say one more thing about the convention this weekend, though. I'm very happy that a woman is running for the mayorship here in Belize City. So, win or lose, congratulations to you, Ms. Nelma Mortis, for taking up that mantle. You rarely see women in politics. I think the last time was Ms. Zenaida Moya. She was the mayor here in Belize City. So congratulations to all of the candidates for the UDP slate here in Belize City and in Orange Walk. And again, municipal elections is coming very, very quickly. March can't get here soon enough. So wherever you are in your municipality, please go out there and cast your votes.
All right, so that ends our conversation this morning for our Eye on the News. Certainly we will be having More stories to share with you at 6 p.m. in our evening newscast, live on 5, or you can catch our content on social media via Facebook and YouTube.
All right, and as we get into our show for this morning, Isani, we are going to talk a little bit about the weather for today. It is rainy, like Isani and I have been mentioning. We don't really know where the system is. I think it's a little bit below us at this point, but I think it's raining throughout the entire country, Belmopan, Belize City, and the south. But we are ready to hear from the folks at the National Meteorological Service of Belize for more information. I'm sure that the conditions will remain the same for the rest of the day. It didn't seem that there was any kind of way out from the rain this morning.
We can only speak, from where we are.
Yes.
From where I am, more specifically. I can only speak about what's taking place in Belize City. Yeah. We have them on the line.
We have them on the line now, so we can talk to forecaster Matthews. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, April and Isani.
Good morning, my brother.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It has been wet and rainy, and I don't know if I'm going to need new windshield wipers. So please give us the general situation for today.
Yes, okay. For the general situation, relatively moist and unstable conditions will prevail.
All right. So more rain throughout the 24-hour forecast?
Yes, that's right.
All right. Give us that.
For the 24-hour forecast, mostly cloudy skies today and tonight. Some showers, light rain, and a few thunderstorms will affect most areas today, then mainly over the coast and offshore tonight.
All right. And what about our winds?
Okay, for the winds, it will be from the northeast at 10 to 15 knots, and the sea conditions will be choppy.
And our temperatures for today are highs and lows?
Okay, for the maximum temperatures for today, it will range from 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 89 inland, and 75 up in the hills. And for the low temperatures for tonight, it will be around 75 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 inland, and 66 up in the hills.
All right. And our extended forecast for Tuesday and Tuesday night?
Okay, for Tuesday and Tuesday night is for similar weather conditions to prevail.
Okay. Any advisories, watches, or warnings for today?
Currently, we have a small craft caution in effect for gusty winds and locally rough seas near heavy showers and thunderstorms.
Okay. Are there any systems out there in the tropics that we should be looking out for?
Okay, not as yet. Nothing as yet.
All right. Thank you so much, forecaster, for that update. We're going to be with you all again this evening. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you guys too.
All right. Irene, first of the day, please get your rubber boots out, your raincoats, your umbrellas. Please don't be wearing shoes that will not be able to withstand the puddles that are outside. But we have to move on with our show for this morning, Isani, and we try to motivate you with our eye-opener taken from dailyom.com, and it goes like this. Living in fear of sounding intelligent can rob your friends of knowing the real you. The universal need to be accepted by others can be a barrier that prevents us from being ourselves around them. When we fear that the people we encounter will perceive us as inept or unintelligent, we frequently try to flaunt our grasp of large words or clever witticisms of our professional expertise in an effort to convince them that we are smart and capable. The simple desire to be judged smart by both new and old acquaintances can cause you to reject your true self and adopt an affected persona. But in trying to persistently to project an image of supreme intelligence or capability, you deny others the opportunity to become acquainted with the real and terrific individual that you are. The fear that others will perceive you as unintelligent can further influence your behavior, causing you to consciously avoid speaking your mind or asking questions. You may feel uncomfortable participating in activities if there is a chance that you won't excel, or taking part in discussions with others who may have more knowledge than you. The simplest way to combat it is to make a personal commitment to being yourself in your home, your workplace, and among strangers. By being yourself, you will discover that all people make mistakes and ask questions, and that others will like and respect you because they recognize the goodness in your soul. The fact that you're willing to be yourself, letting your many affirmative attributes express themselves naturally, will help you to make a positive first impression on everyone you meet and earn the esteem of your family and friends. Your confidence and easygoing manner will say, "This is who I am, and I am proud of the person I have become." Thoughts, Asani? You're laughing over there.
I've been laughing the entire time, actually. No, because I find the eye-opener today particularly funny, humorous, simply because I grew up with an expression that was shared with me a long time ago, right? It's better to remain quiet and appear to be wise than to open your mouth and remove all doubt, right? But in the mix of all of that, you need to be careful that you're not pretending to be. But at the same time, you don't want to give the impression that you don't know anything or you don't know what you're talking about, right? So when you look at this when I look at this eye-opener and I put it in the context of my social circles, my professional life, my life at home as well, you have various levels, various degrees of conversation or intellectual exchange, right? And so some topics are reserved for a particular group.
Yes.
And you have to be able to share at that level. Other topics, you're more comfortable around a different group of people,
Yeah,
and you can be yourself in that regard. And if you're at home, then
that
it's
should
a
be the place
confluence
where
of
your
everything.
utmost self, right? Yeah.
But it's a mix of the highly intellectual and the average and whatever, however you choose to look at it. I think part of the challenge is knowing how to adjust depending to who you're with, where you are, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
With my, and so because of that, I have different groups of friends that I associate with. There are those who are the professionals, and they are driven by, you know, career achievements and those types of things. And so when I'm with them, it's a particular kind of conversation that we have. And that is still me in my natural state.
Yeah.
When I'm with my kids, I need to be able to impart my knowledge, but at their level, that's also me in my natural state in a different setting.
Of course.
And when I'm with my buddies, my guys, that's a totally different thing.
Okay, but I want to know why you made it laugh the whole time.
because the eye-opener is saying, look, you want to be able to be yourself, but you want to be able to avoid the use of certain language.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because for someone like me, I talk the way I talk naturally.
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
no, he's right. He does.
So it's not like I'm in a situation where I quote unquote dumb it down. That's just who I am, right? And it's funny because you have other people who are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Just like the way I am, you have people like that. And you also have people who would argue, well, tone it down, leave it. You know, but if you are who you are, then you are being genuine and honest to yourself.
I think if you are who you are, you're going to attract the people that are genuinely your friends and are good to you and want good and want good things for you. This eye opener for me, I was thinking about it in two ways. Where I grew up in a household where both my parents speak their mind. You will always know exactly what they're thinking at all times, no matter what. And so I grew up having conversations with them that taught me to do the exact same thing, speak my mind. And if I don't know something, I want to know. And therefore, I'm not going to sit there and pretend. I will ask questions because I want to know. And I want to be able to partake. And the only way I can partake is if I ask what's going on. If I don't know, then I will never be able to partake. And so I've always had that part of me, that's part of my persona. If I don't know, I ask. I will not pretend like I don't know. But I also saw the part here where it says, you don't want to participate or you avoid speaking in certain spaces because you don't want to to come off as unintelligent. I saw this a lot in my classroom when I was an educator. And this was at college level, where a lot of my students never wanted, because they felt like they couldn't have a conversation with me as their teacher. But I always said that, if you don't know, ask. And they said, but Miss, what if the question dumb? And then I would say, but you will never know, right? Yeah, you will never know if you don't ask. And so this concept of the only time you will be able to sound intelligence if you use big words and so forth. And to me, if you are trying to do that in a space with persons that know what the word means and you're using it out of context, you're not sounding intelligent. Let's just be real about that, right? And so for my students, I used to tell them that I would want you to start our lesson by you asking me a question, because I can't carry on if I think we all are on the same page and we're not. So for me, it's not just about being in social circles, it's about all aspects of life. If you are in fear of sounding unintelligent, you're not going to get that job. You're not going to be able to progress and advance your own intelligence, because you have to ask questions in order to know. But that's where I got this, that's where I took this eye-opener from.
Perfect.
But we have to move on with our show for this morning. We hope we motivated you with that eye-opener for today. Ask questions. It's good to know. And if you don't know something, make sure that you find out. That's just the way I always take a look at life. But we have a jam-packed show for you this Monday morning, and we begin with the Ministry of Public Service and the Director of the Good Governance Unit. So we're going to have them on the show this morning to talk to us about Corruption Month and the activities that go with it.
All right, so our second conversation, it's all about International Men's Day. We will be having a conversation with a group of guys, myself included, to discuss Men's Day this year.
This is one of those moments where I think I know how Isane feels when all of the pageant ladies come and he's the only guy. It's going to be a great, great conversation. And we're going to wrap things up with the Total Business Solutions GIS Day Expo 2023. So this is going to be a great show, Isane, but we got to take the break. And when we come back, it's all about Corruption Month and activities. Stay with us.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there, see? Babe, the price me too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation a reality.
Thanks to you, babes, to turn things around.
No thanks to you, cheapo.
Out.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
With the steady increase in prices, it's hard to hold on to your hard-earned cash. Well, here at Benny's, prices are steadily falling, making it easier to stretch your dollars. Prices are slashed on electrical products, LED lights, plywood, and wheelbarrows. Yes, we have the cheapest in town. And with X massive season going on right now, get store-wide discounts on select products from now through the summer 31st. Visit a Benny's store near you today, where the prices just keep on falling. Benny's, quality and savings.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Homeowners, immerse yourselves in elegance. Surround yourself with the beauty of one-of-a-kind, quality wood furniture. This is what America's elegant furniture and appliances has to offer. Trendy, affordable, and exceptional centerpieces, large mirrors, vanities, plush sofa sets, coffee tables, office furniture, exquisite mahogany bedroom sets, home decor, mattresses, and so much more. Shop our new reduced prices store-wide and get huge discounts daily. Our layaway and payment plans offer the lowest interest rates guaranteed. Our extensive catalog meets everyone's furniture needs, and if you can't find what you're looking for, then we'll custom make it for you. Shop at America's and save. America's, making your household dreams affordable.
And welcome back. As we mentioned prior to our first commercial break, our conversation this morning to start off our first segment is a discussion with the director of the Good Governance Unit. We have been joined in studio by none other than Cesar Ross. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And we are here to discuss corruption and the activities for Corruption Month. Let's begin by perhaps being able to define for our viewers, because some of us may have a loose idea of what corruption is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put into context what corruption is for persons in public life and persons in private life, and get an understanding of what it is that we're facing.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. And this event leads up to December 9th. Okay. We'll get into that. The term corruption, and we sort of get our definitions from the conventions and from the reviews that have been conducted by whether the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, that's responsible for UNCAC, or MESISIC, which is the OAS Inter-American Convention Against Corruption. And what they look at when they look at corruption is any act, whether in the public sector or in the private sector, that sort of contributes to the misuse of the resources that could otherwise be used to benefit in the public sector, the government spending and government responsibility or mandate to provide services for the citizens, for the people of Belize, or in the private sector, how it affects whether industries, whether companies, institutions, insofar as not allowing for the best productivity, the maximum resources that they should otherwise be able to obtain as such. No? And one of the key areas also is in not only the public sector and the private sector, but the relationship between the public sector and the private sector as such, and the nature of the interaction that goes on between the public and private sector.
Traditionally, we've all frowned on the idea of persons in public life being engaged in certain activities that we describe as corrupt. But a great many times we don't look at the interrelationship, as you've mentioned, between those in public life versus, well, I say public office, sorry, versus those persons who are in the private sector, the business community, who enable these kinds of activities to take place. It's oftentimes we're looking for a bribe or a deal or to expedite certain services, and then
or even the general public when it wants to get something a little quicker than the standard, and tries to facilitate it through whatever means, whatever connection, whatever little bribe they can to get it.
What is interesting about it is that we describe it in the round as the Belizean way, right? We know somebody in the office, we know somebody, and then we just, you know, give a little golden handshake and get the business going.
And then the only time that we, you know, decide to call it out is when it doesn't work in our favor. Right? So at this point in time, and I think everybody here is guilty of making it, but do we use the term as loosely as just saying we're asking for a bribe here and there as public and private citizens?
Yes, I think we have to look at all its measures as such in all its facets, and how it contributes to a culture as such of corruption. And so when we look at UNCAC, or when we look at MESISIC and the implementation of those, one of the first things they tell us, make your people understand that it's not only the big fish that will be held responsible as such, that by the time all the articles of these conventions are implementable, we can say the right acts, the right policies, the right foundational policies are there, that it will be across the board.
So we're having this conversation, and admittedly what's on my mind is the fact that you have certain structures in place to either prevent or deal with the perception of people being corrupt, more so those who are in public office. But just last week, there was a publication of 79 names of persons who are in public life, who are yet to declare and yet to submit to the Integrity Commission what their assets are, their earnings, so on and so forth. And we're talking about trying to move away from these kinds of questionable actions. What's your response to something like that?
And not surprisingly, some of these individuals, it's years that they have not declared the assets as such. When the act under which that declaration of assets operates under the Integrity Commission Act, there is clearly a deadline, and you can apply for a deadline, and you are given a sort of a partial extension, and then after that it's supposed to be $100 a day, in which you're supposed to be charged. So if all of these things are implemented to the details, there are some people that owe the government a lot of money out there.
But then the thing about it is that in this instance, the hands of the police department are tied because they have to wait for instructions from the DPP's office in terms of that particular office getting the files and so on and so forth. So we're sitting on the sideline, we're thinking, well, why hasn't this particular person declared after 5-10 years perhaps? And it's $100 a day, as you've mentioned. That's revenue that the government can collect.
But also, how do you collect all of that revenue if the person doesn't have it at hand? What are the consequences then? What are the actions that take place after they've been given this, I don't know, you want to call it the, there's their severance. They have to serve up and they have to give up their assets. Is there something like that that's in place? What happens after you get called out and say, all right, you have accumulated $100 a day for 7 years, 365 days, 7 years, $100 each day. What happens after?
There is supposed to be the mechanisms. There is supposed to be mechanisms to ensure that is, because even the DPP has to wait for what does the Integrity Commission present, what investigation has been conducted.
And that's what I'm saying. So we're waiting for the policeman to come and lock them up, but there's a whole system and a whole process in place before we get there.
And then as you get there, this stuff is still accumulating because you still have to wait on the process, right? To be finished. So when we're talking about these kinds of situations and this level of corruption that takes place, is it because we're now in this, we're comfortable, I guess, with our culture of no accountability when these things have occurred for the past decade or more?
When you mention that, you kind of make two different light bulbs come to light in my head, because in one hand we are looking at constitution reform, and that's one of the things that we have noticed. One of the major gaps there is, I tell my students that there's a beautiful code of conduct in the constitution that people swear to or affirm to as such. But then, like, my students always ask me, say, then what? After they swear and they go out and do the same things that they promised not to do, then what happens? And so there has to be reforms, clearly. And those reforms have to come with certain teeth, with certain penalties, with applicable process.
Here's the thing. Okay. In the previous administration, I was frustrated many days when I hear the teachers, the public officers, and their respective representative bodies clamoring for the UNCAC to be signed and put into force. And I think, my opinion, everything was done to frustrate that process. Right? That's when I look at it from a reporter's point of view and the coverage that was given to it. Everything was done deliberately to drag as long as possible the process to completion. In that vein, I commend this administration for starting off with a good governance unit where we can start looking at political, constitution, and other forms of reform. But it's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. It's going to be something where we have to walk with each other from the beginning all the way through to the end. I look at scenarios where, for instance, you have legislation now that deals with persons who should be able to explain how they've come by or amassed their wealth or the resources that they have at hand, as perhaps a step in the right direction. Because when we look at, and April and I were talking earlier about politicians, they rise to power and they become super wealthy and what have you. Okay, so how did you get to that point?
Exactly.
So now there's a law that says, okay, you must be able to declare how you've come by the resources, and if it's not, you know, a rational or a proper way of coming about it, then you have to be able to answer to it.
And there's another law that even takes it further, the one that was just passed in July of this year, the Civil Asset Recovery and Unexplained Wealth Act, that puts it in the hands of the FIU to do the investigation and to hold people responsible for that unexplained wealth that have been acquired over time as such, and holding their feet to the fire. And it's a civil process, so it's a much easier process because it doesn't have to go through the whole criminal process as such. So there's that. But you know, one of the things that I realize and I want to bring to the attention of the public, we have been talking about UNCAC so much and waiting for UNCAC so long. Do we realize that from 1996 we have signed on to the Inter-American Convention Against Corruption? And that one is applicable. We are under that. That has put out a number of reviews on the countryabilities. I remember I was asked, can I give an update on the conflict of interest article? And then when I looked through the files and look through what government has, I realized that from 2010, Messisic did a review of Belize, and it state and where it was when it comes to conflict of interest, and made a series of recommendations
that we have not
that acted upon.
Right.
Everything boils down to ultimately political will or the lack thereof. So we have all of these things in place. We know what we need to do, but do we have the inner motivation to say, as a government or as a people, let's move towards being able to accomplish these particular objectives?
I want to be optimistic. I think there is the movements that are occurring in the past 2 years, not only the good governance unit as such, the public speaking to, the empowerment of the Integrity Commission, giving it the teeth it needs, the resources it needs, the empowerment of the Ombudsman, the drafting of a new Auditor General Act, well, a new Auditor General bill at this point in time, that sort of focuses on empowerment and creating a sort of independent entity as such. So I think, I am hopeful. And so one of the things we want to do, and why we are here, is because we want to make the public begin to become aware of what is the corruption that is, out there, and that we have to hold ourselves accountable to at all levels, and what are the processes, right? And so this is what we want.
But how do you shift a culture that is used to this kind of behavior? And I don't mean to trump on the positiveness, right? It's good to be optimistic, but we've kind of already started to raise our kids with the sense of, if you want to be successful financial wise, you become a politician, because that's the only way you make money, right? And that shouldn't be so. You're a civil servant to us as the people, and that kind of behavior continues on to brew until they eventually become adults and vote in that kind of way. So how do you shift that kind of behavior in a country and a community that's already used to it?
Yeah, I think there's two motions that have been set in play by this administration. One, the People's Constitution Commission and the reform process that is hoping to generate from the public as such. Notwithstanding, this process was not like the 1999 process that was society driven. This one, the government decided to motivate the society to make the proposals as such, no? So there's that process, and we're hoping that through that process, society begins to look at what can be changed, what in the Constitution can be developed to make all systems of governance more accountable as such, right? More transparent, more responsive as such. And then on the other hand, we have the creation of the Good Governance Unit. We have the interaction with UNCAC, the interaction with the more active interaction with MESISIC, even Transparency International. We are doing everything we can to tell Transparency International, please review us, please rank us, rate us, because it's since 2008 that we have not been ranked. And when we reach out, they told us, they said, but we need data. We need data to be able to do an analysis of where Belize is at, and what Belize is doing, and what are the gaps and things like that.
Look, there are certain buzzwords where when we're growing up and we're listening to politicians and we're listening to the rallying cry of the citizenry, I could recall hearing things like transparency, accountability, and good governance, right? Buzzwords. Now I become a reporter, and part of transparency means that, look, I should be able to invoke the Freedom of Information Act if I want to be able to get certain information from a public office, and it's the most difficult thing. They put everything in your way to prevent you from having access to information that should be public from the beginning. And so you can't help but be cynical when it comes to these things. We say one thing, we do something else, and we get caught up in the semantics of it all.
And when the Good Governance Unit was created, they sat us down and they told us clearly, there's a lot of complaints, there's a lot of problems. Develop the agenda, develop the strategies that are needed to improve all of those things, the access to information as such. And so the political directorate made it clear, please do that. And so this corruption sensitization or awareness campaign is to begin that process there. What we want to get out of this is sort of a awareness, but also a partnership with the public, with the private sectors, with the NGO communities as such. And out of that partnership, we want to get at least the beginning of the baseline assessments that are necessary so that the good governance unit could then develop, like a 5-year strategy. These are the things that need to be changed. These are the things that need to be fixed so that commitment to accountability, that commitment to transparency and things like that can actually be realized. One of the things that we always point out to our supervisors is the fact that in the last study that was done by, I think it was the Caribbean Development Bank, that in this region here, we looked at Singapore, where 86% of the public trust the government. And we look here, and it's below 34%. Of course.
That was going to be my next question. How do you retain that sort of enforcement of and I'll say enforcement of the laws, because at the end of the day, if you read our laws, if you read our bylaws, if you read the Constitution that is already there, our laws are fair and just. But if a citizen does not know the laws and their rights and privileges as a civilian here, you will never be able to express those rights, right? And so even if this is completed, even if this is done so well to a T that now we can ensure that there is good governance and that lack of corruption and so removal of corruption and so forth, the people don't trust the government. So we will always be there saying, but how that's a little bit too good to be true. So then now how do you get your entire society to trust you? Again, it goes back to this history of lack of trust, no accountability, no transparency, all of the trust, all of the buzzwords that Isani was mentioning. Because here we are in 2023, where as a people, we watch everything that this government is doing now. Everything is on social media. The minute that a blue plate they on the road on a Sunday, we done ready for call and complain. And then there is this lack of talking to the public afterwards, because the accountability or us looking at the government is too much, right? So where do we strike a balance?
It will take a lot of public education to get to that point. Minister Usher made it clear to us that his ideal is that we move, that the Constitution helps us move this country from believing in a representative government to a participatory government. One in which there are key elements that allow the people, not every 5 years, not every 4 years or 3 years in municipal and local government as such, but that there is a daily opportunity for the public to participate, to bring certain things to attention, whether it's the initiative system or whatever. And so the ideal is being vocalized. Now it's getting the reforms to reflect and to actualize those ideals is what will be the challenge, because we have.
So what has that process been like? Because I'm presuming it's a tedious one that requires all hands on deck.
It is, and anytime you meet community members, anytime you meet with a group of people, they are, we hear you, but we're not so sure we trust what you're saying. We're too skeptical.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. We feel as though we've been down this road too many times.
We've been burnt too many times before.
Where trust is a luxury that many a man cannot afford, right? So you can't put trust in your politicians. You can't put trust in certain systems, if you feel aggrieved by the very processes,
it's like that abusive relationship where you no longer trust your partner anymore. That's the way that this dance has been with the public and the politicians for so long. It's 42 years of this, unfortunately, right? So what's the process like? And how can we continue to try to retain that?
Well, we're hoping that this awareness, this corruption awareness campaign that we're embarking on, and we are going to make it an annual, a yearly thing as such, is going to begin to, what will come out of it, we don't want it to be just a talk shop. We want real
meaningful actions.
Meaningful results, meaningful. We are going to, in this process here, apart from we're launching a poster, essay, these types of contests, we're going to launch next week, Wednesday, where we discuss, we talk to the public about it, but we're also going to, we're proposing to meet with every line ministry, have an afternoon workshop with every line ministry to make them understand what are these elements that UNCAC, that MESISIC are looking at. What are the things that we have to implement, that looking at, and how we need to change it. How can we mitigate corruption? How can we lessen it as such?
It's a step in the right direction, guaranteed. But, and I hate to be sitting here being skeptical, cynical, pessimistic, and all these other things. I hate to do that. What I'm most concerned about is that there is a likelihood that at the end of this political term, another administration may come to power and do away with all of this. So now we're back at square one. So notwithstanding everything that would have been put into place to try to effect the kinds of changes that we're talking about, again, someone could just simply say, well, we'll do away with the good governance unit and move on to something else that completely places on the shelf everything that you would have, or we would have worked at so far. That's my biggest concern.
Because as you said, it's not the first time. There was a governance unit before, years ago, and it, it sort of died out as such, no? So yes, we are hoping, we are hoping for the conference on the 7th, we're having a full day conference the 7th, and for that conference we are bringing in a speaker from the UNODC to talk to us about UNCAC's expectations and what are best practices in all of these. We're bringing somebody from the Caribbean to talk about how in parliamentary systems, in our type of systems, they have been able to do certain things as such. No? I mean, Jamaica is the only Caribbean country that has a campaign finance reform act as such. No? So what are the best practices? What are the gold standards as such in the Caribbean? And then locally, we have somebody, we're getting somebody to speak about the independence and empowerment of the Integrity Commission, the Contractor General, the Auditor General, that is much needed. We want somebody from the Women's Commission to talk to us about how corruption impacts women as such. No? In several Latin American presentations that I've heard at the OAS, they talk about corruptions. One of them, the Spanish concept is el pago sexualizado. I remember one Caribbean person referred to it as sextortion as such. No? And so how women are affected by corruption. We are going to have a youth speak to how the youths are seeing corruption and they're undermining this society there that they're supposed to take over as such and inherit. No? And then we want the unions and the business sector to speak to some of these things as such. No?
I guess my final question as we wrap up our segment this morning, and you were listing some of the activities for the conference, but what are there other activities for the month of corruption that we'd like to know about? And you said it's up until the 9th, so that means it already started already. Yes,
we have started with some contests that we have launched with the international theme this year is Uniting the World Against Corruption. So what we have done is we have done an essay, poster and art uniting Belize against corruption as such, no? And so we have given criteria for that, and we have sent that out into the schools. The Ministry of Education is helping us with that process as such, no? And the Chamber is, the Business Bureau is helping us. The U.S. Embassy is helping us make sure that we can do that. After the launch, next week, Wednesday, we're going to be, for a week, hitting all the ministries there. So we have broken the week into covering like 3 ministries a day and doing an orientation with them. On December 4th, we are promoting an integrity walk. And we want to ask every mayor and every municipal council to lead this integrity walk in every municipality as such, no? And so we want to have that in the morning, 6:30 to about 7:38, and then the mid-morning about 10, we're going to declare the winners of the contest as such. On the 7th, we're going to have a one-day conference in which we have all of these guest speakers, these quality speakers that will speak to corruption in its different facets as such. And then, while all of this is going on, we are going to be putting together the outline and putting in the meat to that outline of a declaration. We want, on December 9th, to launch into the media a declaration by the stakeholders of Belize, a declaration calling for an end to corruption in the public-private partnership, the public sector and the private sector as such. And we're hoping to invite every single political party leader, let's put it that way, right? And the minister said, make sure it's all of them, no matter how young or how small they are, invite all of their party leaders as such. No? So even the most recently formed by Mr. Pereira, we want to invite to join and endorse that declaration, commit themselves and to that declaration publicly to the people of Belize as such.
Wonderful. Well, Director of Good Governance, Mr. Cesar Ross, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We look forward to hearing more on the activities lined up for this month, and of course, hopefully we can cover some of the conferences as well. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
And we got to take the break, and when we come back, it's all about International Men's Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Technology is ubiquitous, and it's transforming how, when, and where we work. Full-Tech Systems is placing award-winning devices in the hands of information workers, allowing them to work without compromise in a world without wires, to innovate, create, and to maximize productivity anytime, anywhere, satisfying the needs of the desk-centric remote and field worker and every other worker in between. We are providing the industry's best devices to businesses going through the process of digital transformation. Partner with us today to provide the solutions that will allow your employees to work effectively and efficiently to enhance your customers' experience. Full-Tech Systems, your technology center, where you'll come for the price, but stay for the service.
Every project has to start somewhere, and Brothers Habet's got you covered. We're the place for professionals because we understand success is built on quality and reliability. For the do-it-yourselfers seeking quality tools and materials to bring their out-of-the-box ideas to life, our paint department offers a kaleidoscope of hues to those looking to express their unique style. And for those seeking the perfect touch of elegance for their homes, we offer a curated collection of household fixtures and furnishings that caters to every taste. But what sets Brothers Habet apart is our exceptional customer service. Our employees go above and beyond to ensure that every customer's needs are met. We're here to see you through your building journey. Visit Brothers Habet and get started today. Or call or WhatsApp us for a quote. See you soon.
Daddy, buy me one Carol consomme.
Carol consomme. Carol, Mr. Sam, give me a...
You want egg? Oh, you want consomme? Carol consomme.
Carol consomme. The best taste and the best price. Less fat, more flavor. Carol consomme. Available in packets for only 20 cents and a half-pound jar for only $2.75. Less fat, more flavor, more savings.
Give me a...
Carol consomme.
Taste the savings. Love the flavor.
Available at 88 Shopping Center, Publix Supermarket, TJ Supermarket, Ming Superstore, Sugar City Supermarket, and you can also find it at your favorite supermarkets near.
Ho, ho, ho! This Christmas, win a chance to spin the wheel and let luck choose your prize. Get one coupon for every purchase of $25 Belize in Uno fuels or per quart of Uno lubricants. Receive double coupons when you buy a gallon of Uno lubricants. Get into the spirit. It's Christmas time. In collaboration with Quartz. Uno, a brand committed with the future.
Gimme 5! The biggest giveaway show of the year is back with new prizes and surprises. The fun starts at 8 p.m. on Monday, December 4th and ends on Friday, December 8th. Gimme 5 coupons are now available for 25 cents each on our Channel 5 website and at our studio on Coney Drive in Belize City. Fill out your coupons and return them to our Channel 5 office. Remember to tune in at 8 p.m. every night from December 4th to the 8th for awesome entertainment, giveaways, and lots of prizes. And don't forget, when your phone rings, don't say, hello. Say, give me 5! Yeah!
Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Welcome back to our second conversation here on OIE, and it is all about celebrating International Men's Day. To have this, I guess, panel conversation. In studio, we have, in the middle here, Dr. Fernando Cuellar, internist and incentive. And to his right, you have Lani Mendez, the Monitoring Evaluation Officer at NCFC, and Mr. Arthur Usher, the member of the National Parenting Task Force. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. And then, of course, I think Isan is also on the panel. So Isane Cayetano, media personality and journalist. But let's talk about International Men's Day. This is celebrated on the 19th of November. And, you know, in Belize, unfortunately, it's overshadowed by other November celebrations. But sticking to the line of International Men's Day, let's talk about the theme and what NCFC is doing to raise awareness this year.
Hi, good morning, Belize. Good morning. So NCFC, when it comes to International Men's Day, we have what's called the National Parenting Task Force. Now, that task force and NCFC is what we do is we foster a society. We're trying to foster a society that makes it acceptable for men to be men, women to be women, for everyone to be comfortable in the shell that they are, and to foster a better society for family, to foster a better society for children, right? And how do we do that? Well, the data shows that here in the world, that when a man is an integral part of the family, that when they are an active role in the family, what happens is that the family as a unit operates better. And so it's important for us to address and advocate for the challenges and opportunities, the unique challenges and opportunities that men face in society. And so with some of those challenges, unfortunately, men tend to have, there's a stigma amongst your mental health. There is a stigma and norms that cause men to not want to address certain mental health issues, and such. The suicide rate in men is higher. And so this year we decided to try to tackle that issue with regards to focusing on one of the 6 pillars, which is health, specifically mental health, in focusing on zero male suicide. You know, so that is the theme, zero male suicide for 2023.
I want to get into the pillars itself. So one of them is the mental health. Let's talk about the other 5 before we get into the aspect of the theme this morning.
So maybe Mr. Usher can help me out with the other.
He has his notes.
So there are 6 pillars. Valuing male roles, that's one. Acknowledging the contribution of men and boys. And then number 3 is improving male health. Number 4, tackling discrimination and disadvantage. Fostering positive gender roles, and making the world a safer place for everyone. So those are our 6. And this year we're utilizing improving male health, which then ties into zero male suicides.
I really like this this conversation about surrounding International Men's Day, because whenever we celebrate Men's Month, you know, there's always this kind of blowback of why we don't celebrate men either. And the reality is that for so long, men have been an integral part. They've been the moving part of societal progress. And then, of course, women have been overshadowed. But let's talk about the need to uplift these pillars. Let's talk about the need to raise awareness that there is more male suicide happening than there is towards women. So I want you guys to stress to me the importance of celebrating this day in particular.
So yeah, I can tackle that first. International Men's Day was started in 1999 by Dr. Tilliskin. He was a professor at University of West Indies in Trinidad. So again, the importance of International Men's Day is basically to celebrate men in all of these 6 pillars. But their contributions I guess it's a psychological thing. Because if you are not recognized, then you do not feel value. And so where we're at with International Men's Day, and you're right, it's important to give credence and give some kind of assurance that what you're doing is valid. For the most part, we see a lot of negative images of men in our society, and generally through the media and different movies and stuff that we watch. And so it's important to also provide the opposite spectrum to that. And so the positive side of men and what do men do in the family and what do men do for society on a daily basis is important. International Men's Day bring up all of these issues, and sometimes it rub people the wrong way because, you know, there are a lot of dynamics at play with that. But appreciation for any human being, I think, is fair.
I'm waiting my turn because I want to be controversial.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Sat in silence long enough. Okay. Look, here's the thing, right? While yes, men have been very, very crucial in terms of shaping our beliefs and society for what it is, you're right when you say that oftentimes the role of the man gets overlooked in certain areas of either parenting, certain areas of
providing for the household.
Providing for a household. Multiple facets if you look at it from that point of view, right? So we've established all of these other structures that recognize, and rightly so, the role of the woman. You have a National Women's Commission, you have Women's Month, you have all of these things, right? Respect to that. But we don't have anything that says, okay, you know what? There are some of us good men in society who deserve the same kind of recognition that we're giving to the women for an entire month, for an entire, whatever the case may be, right? And one may say, well, but we exist in a chiefly patriarchal society where the man are done, the breadwinner, the head of the household or whatever.
Recognition already.
But what about us men who are fathers to our kids? We're there every single step of the way. We make sure that things get done, you know, the right way in terms of raising our children. And there's little to no recognition for that.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
That's, I think, those are the kinds of conversations that we should be having.
And you know, one of the, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when we did have the women's panel in March, we had a conversation, I believe, and we were talking about the things that make us and shape us as women, right? And the balancing act was having that male figure in our lives. Everybody that spoke said, you know, I am who I am because I had a great father. You know, yes, I had a great mother. Kudos to the single mothers, but that balancing act of a great mother, but a really great male figure in my life, that is what shaped me as a woman in society, and I could attest to that as well. But we don't give credit in that aspect. We don't say, well, these are the men and when we're talking about seeing it in a negative light, it's often because there is that absence of the male father figure there, or an abusive male father figure, and so we don't talk about the what ifs. What if that person had a present father? What if that person had a healthy, emotional, stable household with a male figure in it? And that kind of conversation, I think, would move the dynamic from a negative into a positive light. Mr. Clary, you watch me, and I'm not sure if you want to combat what I said.
Well, I'm going to piggyback on what Isana said, and I multiply it by 10. I mean, holding back. But I'm glad I'm playing this minor role today. When I was contacted by Mr. Osha, I was excited initially because I said, wow, finally we can get the men's commission established. I thought that was going to be the next news, no? And enough has been said so far already. I don't think I can add any more to it. Being a man is challenging, for sure. Isani definitely touched on the important thing of being a provider, being a parent. Being a parent is hard, man and woman. And I'm sure that for maybe the next 20 years, we'll be not talking about men and women, but rather gender and gender roles, no? Because the lines are getting blurred. So we won't have that definitive line to differentiate between the role of a man, the role of a woman in the next 20 years. It's just going back to perhaps applying being a good human being, loving and caring for each other, doing what you would want, do what you would want to be done to you with respect and that kind of thing. Nowadays in our society, we have women who are smarter, earn more everything than men. And it has, in a very personal life, it has also affected me a lot. As you know, my craft takes me a lot out of the house, but sometimes I wonder if I use it as a justification or an excuse. But at the end of the day, it's like that when it comes to my reality. So it's a difficult challenge, and I hope that our governments will see it as that and give more equality on both sides. Equality on both sides. I would want to see more women playing a bigger role in politics for sure. That's I suspect will be a low-hanging fruit that we can try to instill. And again, it comes with some discussion because we don't want to put one quota, for example, and I say, okay, 1/3 have to be women, and then
just for the
sake of it, they have to earn it. They have to earn it. And curiosity, I wonder if it's only Belizean culture that woman tear down woman more than the Mexican or the Venezuelans or the Ethiopians or what have you, But you hear that often. So it's kudos to the person, and I would want us to not be too gender specific when it comes to, because we all face same mental health challenges, same parenting challenges, and that kind of thing.
Let's double back to the theme, right? Zero male suicide, right? To me, it's in a sense ideological that you could reduce, this crisis, I'll describe it as such, this crisis to nil. Simply because as a man, my challenges in life may very well be different than yours. So what drives me to ideation may be a different trigger than what drives you to ideation, and so on and so forth, right? What I'm looking at is the idea that we all need an outlet, right? If we have a space for men to be able to gather and have certain conversations about how we're feeling and how to go about problem solving, because that's a huge part of it, if you ask me. If you're burdened by debt, that's a problem that you need to figure out. If you're having marital issues, that's a problem that you need to figure out, so on and so forth. So if you create a space or a platform where we can sit down and discuss amongst each other how we can address this, for us as brothers and so on and so forth. Maybe we can't bring it to zero, but that's a vehicle that helps to gradually reduce those numbers, right? So my question in all of that is, where are we with creating this kind of space? Where are we with creating an initiative where you could go and sit down, not only with a counselor, but with a peer, and just have these kinds of conversations, clear your mental space and so on?
Well, I would say we're in the beginning stages for a specific space. The discussion has been just what you said, we need the space, right? So how do we move from we need the space to an actual space? And again, that space is cyberspace, it has to be a building. And I think that it will need to be that. It will need to be something fluid, that men can meet in cyberspace or in wherever, across the country. Just because it's such a broad-reaching topic, and men are affected, like you said, in various ways, in various cultures, differently. Our data is saying for this year, Stan Creek has had the most suicides, and then Toledo has had 0. So again, just creating the space and the opportunity for men to discuss these issues is important. And you were a part, Isani, of our conferences. We had 2 conferences previous to this awareness. Last year was specific to awareness as well. And again, the conversations has always led to, well, what's next? And how do we build on this? Because we need it.
Yeah.
Just this Saturday, I had a conversation with some young men about some of these same issues. How their environment forge and make them into what they're going to be. And so they're saying the same thing. We need to follow up.
Yeah.
You know, what's the next step after this, sir? What's the next step, sir? When we have another meeting, sir? That kind of thing is happening. And these are young men in their teens identifying some of the same issues.
Yeah.
And so we don't want them to be led in our same direction that we are now coming from and realizing our situation. So indeed, there is a conversation. How that looks, I'm hoping to have a better answer for you by Father's Day next year.
If I can add as well,
Yes, please.
I think this is why awareness is important as well, because like you have mentioned, it gives us now, we have this platform, we have Open Your Eyes, you know, to get the conversation out there.
Yes.
It is until you all, the men out there, speak up and say, I need this. It's until you tell your representatives that I need this, this is what I need. You know, and then, but that's one of the major issues when it comes to men. We don't speak up when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to our physical health. Men oftentimes, and I'm sure Dr. Caulker can speak on this, refuse to go to do just their basic checkups. They have insurance, but they still don't go do their basic checkups, you know. So it's not only, it's, we need to stand up and start speaking. We need to say that this is needed, this is something that we need.
There is a meme that I used to like that was floating about, that was having like there is a pool of water and a hand that's sticking out of the water that's asking for help. And then the society is the other hand that says, be a man, and then the hand drowns, right? So yes, as much as I know you want to craft yourself for each other as men, I really think it's a societal issue as well, where, and I catch myself doing it a lot because we're so culturally used to it, where if a man is emotional, we don't know what to do because we've never had the conversation of, this is how you comfort just a person when they're in a particular emotional situation or any kind of situation. So how do we shift societal norms to ensure that we as women as well can be a shoulder to cry on or a support system for our male counterparts?
I think it comes through education, just equipping ourselves with that knowledge that men do suffer as well, and oftentimes suffer in silence, you know, because we tend to be seen as the person you go to in the family. So in the family support, you come to the man for help. The child will come to his dad, the wife will come to her husband, you know, so you go to them for help, but then who helps? The father. So I think sometimes maybe we just have to lie in bed and say to ourselves, let me speak to my husband, let me see how he's doing, let me ask him the hard questions, you know, because it's difficult to ask that. How are you in your mind? How are you doing? How are you doing up there? You know, it's a difficult question to ask. It can prove even for very intimate partners, it can prove something very difficult.
Yeah. Dr. Caulker?
Well, I would want to add just by saying identify role models in our society. I think we tend to younger men or young men, children, and we should start from there, no? Don't wait until we try to address adults and adult problems, right? Going to the schools, everything starts from even if you're going to try to teach somebody to eat healthy, you start from younger. So we start from our schools, like we use our role models that we have in our society, and you don't have to pick one doctor, one liar. I just the other day tell somebody the most important person in my life today is my plumber. Because when the bathroom stop up, well,
that's the person you call for help.
I don't want to throw my diploma through the window and teach me. So it's giving value to each person, no? Be it any part of society.
For International Men's Day, what are the activities that you all are doing to celebrate that?
So this year there has been a reach out to the BDF, and there's going to be conversations because a lot of the time, you know, our BDF are macho men, you know, and it's very difficult. You know, it's very difficult for them, or maybe no one reaches out to them the way they should. So I think it's important, and I know Mr. Usher has more of the details on it. So, you know, but it's more of reaching out to those that aren't being reached out to. You know, reaching out to those we know need a hand, but no one is giving them that hand. You know, and so it's identifying who needs the help, and with the limited resources that we have, we try to reach out to who we can.
So so besides the ongoing media campaign and all this other stuff, all the narrative has been on International Men's Day, just reach out to that male in your life. Right? Your son, your uncle, your whoever, they'll say, I appreciate you. You know, it's a simple gesture, and it's a human gesture, like we've been saying all morning. That can make someone's day. It usually makes someone's day, right? If you show up, you just say, look, thanks for all you're doing. You know, it's appreciation, it's heartfelt, and that's carry that person for 2 months. You know what I mean? It's just that touch and appreciation for what they do. It's that simple, because as we've been saying, men have a somewhat issue of actually reaching out for help. And so if it comes to us, then we recognize, okay, he or she recognizes me, maybe next time that man in your life will come to you because he knows the door is open now. So it's a small gesture, but it's something that we're asking everybody to do on a personal level, and just reach out to men on a whole.
Wonderful. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for coming in, having the hard conversation, and we hope to see you guys again here before next year, before Father's Day. Right? We got to take the break, and when we come back, it's all about the Total Business Solutions GIS Expo. Stay with us.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
Who's my last little bit of paint?
Paint? How can that be a problem? We got you.
You have the exact color?
Definitely.
Attention DIY enthusiasts and professional builders. It's Builders Hardware's Mega Sale, starting October 16th and running through to December 30th. During our Mega Sale, you can enjoy up to 30% off items in our store. Looking to freshen up your home? Then enjoy 20% off on all paints, wood stains, and accessories. But that's not all. You get a whopping 25% discount on all other items in our store and a massive 30% off selected items. At Builders Hardware, we believe our customers are awesome. And And that's why we're committed to providing top-notch service and the highest quality products. So whether you're a seasoned pro or a DIY beginner, we are waiting for you. Builders Hardware Mega Sale from October 16th until the end of the year.
My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent. Make appointments online and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information. Social Security at your fingertips. My Social Security.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Are you looking for low-cost television advertising? Have we got a deal for you? Advertise on Channel 5's Daily Classifieds. Channel 5's Daily Classifieds is one of the most effective methods for introducing yourself and your business to the community. Use our Daily Classifieds to recruit employees, promote specials, promote your products or services, promote a business opportunity, increase traffic to your website, and advertise items you have for sale. Let us help you to save valuable time and money. Call us today at 280-0013 or visit us at our offices on Coney Drive to discuss how we can help your business grow affordably. Channel 5 Daily Classifieds. Advertise today.
Gimme 5! The biggest giveaway show of the year is back with new prizes and surprises. The fun starts at 8 p.m. on Monday, December 4th, and ends on Friday, December 8th. Gimme 5 coupons are now available for 25 cents each on our Channel 5 website and at our studio on Coney Drive in Belize City. Fill out your coupons and return them to our Channel 5 office. Remember to tune in at 8 p.m. every night from December 4th to the 8th for awesome entertainment, giveaways, and lots of prizes. And don't forget, when your phone rings, don't say, "Hello." Say, "Give me 5." Yeah!
Isani Cayetano, Marian Ali, Paul Lopez. Your News 5 Belize teams do whatever it takes. Go wherever they need to go, so you can catch the story wherever you are, whenever you want, on whatever device. Channel 5 Belize on television, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Because news is now everywhere, all the time. And so are we.
Whether you're at home, on the road, at work, or at school, if you see news happening or suspect that something might be up, call or text the Channel 5 News Belize tip line at 672-5555. You don't have to give us your name, just give us the tip. That's 672-5555. Call or text us so we can check it out.
When someone you love becomes a memory, the memory becomes a treasure. Channel 5 introduces the Daily Obituaries. The Daily Obituaries will broadcast all death and funeral announcements and memorials to honor your loved one's life and memories. The Daily Obituaries airs on Channel 5 prior to the evening newscast, with subsequent repeats at 10 p.m. and 12 noon the following day. It will also be placed online on our social media platforms, all for a standard package fee. Celebrate their lives and memories with Channel 5's Daily Obituaries. Honor in life and reverence in death.
Do you know how to choose the best engine oil for your car? We believe the best engine oil should provide optimal performance and ultimate protection for longer. For Quartz engine oil, our engineers have formulated age resistance technology, also known as ART. It's a breakthrough innovation. The interaction between oil molecules is increased, creating a super resistant molecular structure. So whatever the conditions, it helps to prevent the lubricant protective film from breaking. Any engine is exposed to harsh conditions: extreme temperature and pressure, friction, sludge accumulation. The molecular structure of quartz with ART stays strong to perfectly lubricate and protect engine parts in all conditions. And the results are outstanding. Protection against sludge buildup improved by 18%. Protection against mechanical wear improved by 74%. Thanks to Quartz with ART, save on maintenance and preserve your engine's power. So next time you wonder which engine oil to use, choose performance and protection that lasts longer. Quartz with age resistance technology. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Do you own a car cycle and need an extra income but don't have the time to commit to a second job? Midriver is your solution, as you can work anytime and anywhere. Download the Midriver driver app from Play Store or App Store, the black app, and fill out the application or WhatsApp pictures to 615-5678 or 615-2250. Provide Midriver with pictures of your driver's license, social security or passport, insurance sticker, license sticker, title, profile picture of you, police record or the receipt, front of vehicle, rear of vehicle, left side exterior, right side exterior, picture of passenger seat interior, picture of rear seat interior, vaccination card, and email address. The list might look long, but you have all of these already. Just the police left for you to get. When your registration is complete and approved, all you have to do, turn up online. When a job comes in, swipe right. Tap Arriving. This allows the customer to track your GPS progress. Tap Navigate. Google Maps will open to give you directions. Press Arrive. Customer gets notified that you are outside. When customer enters car, swipe right to start ride. Midriver app charges by time and distance. That guarantees you to earn an income. When you reach destination and end the ride, the app will tell you and the customer the total cost of the ride. Midriver only takes 15%, so 85% of the income is all yours. Don't forget to get that police record receipt, and you can be on your way to making extra money with the help of Midriver.
Get ready, babe. We're going on a vacation.
Finally, where are we going?
Don't worry, babe. I have we covered.
Are you sure you know where we're going?
Yes, babe. Oh, right there, see? Babe, the price is too good to be true. Me look much more better in that picture.
When life throws you a curveball, Belize Bank has your back. With our online financing, you can turn any vacation mishap into a dream getaway.
Cheers to Belize Bank for making our dream vacation a reality.
Thanks to you, babes, to turn things around.
No thanks to you, cheapo.
Ouch.
Experience the future of financing with Belize Bank online, where you can secure funds for anything, from anywhere, at any time, all without stepping foot in a bank. Apply for a loan today and unlock a world of possibilities.
Welcome back. We are at our final conversation for our Monday morning show, Isani, and it is all about the GIS Day Expo brought to you by the Total Business Solutions Limited. Joining us in studio, we have Ms. Loretta Palacio, who is the Managing Director at TBSL. Good morning.
Good morning.
And
Good morning.
of course, the Operations Manager, Ms. Fallon Santos, also from TBSL. Good morning, ladies. All right. I know that we want to talk about the expo. We have so much happening on Wednesday, so let's just jump right into that.
Sure.
All right. Good morning once again. Thanks for having us. So the World GIS Day Expo will be held on Wednesday at the Ramada Hotel. It starts at 8:30 to 9:15 is the opening ceremony, and then the exposition begins at right after that in the room right next door. All happening in the King's Room, so everyone is invited. At the expo this year, we have exhibitors, geomentors, and the exhibitors are basically there to explain to the students and to share how their organizations are using GIS. And these are exhibitors from different industries, different sectors. And because this is a student expo, we have over 1,000 students attending this expo from different different areas of study. They will find for example, if you're studying agriculture, you're going to the Belize Sugar Industries booth. That's one of our exhibitors. You know, if you want to know more about how GIS is used in what I'm studying, whether it's marine biology or in conservation, Wildlife Conservation Society will be there. So it's an expo for all students. Another highlight for the expo is the geomentors. The geomentors are GIS professionals in Belize who have committed their time and to share their story. So it's something that's ongoing after GIS Day. They will be supporting teachers, implementing these in schools, helping one-on-one. Any questions, we're forming a GIS community in Belize. So that's a highlight at the expo this year. And to tie that all in, we are we're sharing information about a free ArcGIS in Schools program for K through 12, which is for us, that's primary and secondary, and tertiary level, there's a grant program. So we're sharing that information. At our opening ceremony, our keynote speaker is from Toledo Community College. So in 2021, we had a summer program when the Ministry of Education had these professional development programs, and we had the GIS course, and we had over 100 teachers there learning and understanding how to teach with GIS in the classroom. And so this year, we got our first school, Toledo Community College, and so they will share their experience of implementing this in the classroom. And it's so exciting for us because at times we are the software distributors. Persons want to hear from who's using it and how I can use it. So that's another highlight that we wouldn't want educators, administrators, school managers to miss.
Let's go back a bit and talk about the importance of GIS in perhaps everyday application and what have you.
Yes, GIS is a very important tool in national development. And you know, national development includes everything and everybody, right? For us to make decisions, we need data. And we talk about data-driven decision making. We have to make decisions based on information. And so when we're looking at where to develop next in tourism, where BL is going to put its expansion, you know, because the community is growing. We need to look at the land area, you need to look at population growth. You get layers from SIB, layers from BEL, from Belize Water Services, and that, what we call, you mash it up, right? We have a sandwich kind of thing where you look at the layers and say, okay, this area has grown by 30% in the past 5 years. Similarly, we can do that for erosion issues, climate change. We will be highlighting that as well when you're looking at an area where, oh my goodness, look at how St. Matthew's Village looked 10 years ago. Or Valley of Peace, you know, there's agriculture, how is it affecting the environment? And so you look at how it looked 10 years ago, because we have access to data, and then how it looks today, and how is that impacting people's lives, and how it is impacting business and everybody else.
I think we kind of see the growth gradually when you maybe visit a community after 10 years and stuff, and I think one of the beauties about GIS is that you can gradually see it on the map growing as people expand. But as students, and you're having this expo particularly for and by students, why should they tap into this as a field of study?
Well, two things. First, I want to say that GIS is for everybody. So if you're a doctor, you need GIS, right? So we want to make sure that everybody knows it's a tool that goes across all industries. We won't be able to talk about STEAM right now, science, technology, engineering, math, which is very important. We'll come back, hopefully. Yes. But in terms of studying GIS is a very, it's a growing field because it encompasses all industries. You know, GIS is ubiquitous. It's everywhere like electricity, right? And so you have to look at data for the medical field, you need GIS. You have to expand your water system, you need GIS. You could go on and on. Agriculture, you know, you're looking at soil types, you're looking at where water, flood-prone areas, where water settles more, you need GIS. So it's the tool that everybody uses. So it doesn't matter what you want to be or who you want to be, you need the tool. But for focusing on GIS, it is a very interesting tool because you get to learn about everything around you, everything that's happening in a country, because you're a professional that everybody will come to ask for information. I'm buying a piece of land, you know, how does climate change affect my community, etc.
That's true. I wanted to, I know that we don't have a lot of time, but I know that we're not the only country celebrating GIS Day on Wednesday. Let's talk about where Belize stands on the global scale.
Okay, we have 3,000 events happening under the GIS Day brand. So this week is World Geography Week. And so persons may not specifically put it on Wednesday, which is actual GIS Day, but there are 3,000 events in over 143 countries.
Wow. So Belize has
on
made the map. So where can
literally on the map.
Literally on the map.
GIS.com.
GIS.com to see where Belize lies.
And we are tbsl.bz.
Sorry, one more time. tbsl.bz to find any information that we can on the expo and on GIS as well. And where can we download the system from? It's free of cost, right?
Well, there are free tools for GIS. You know, there's several. We have ArcGIS Earth, we have story maps, we have different tools that people could start experimenting with, playing around with.
I like ArcGIS, but I use it for my own field, but it's a good tool to have in general. Ladies, I know we have to wrap up very, very quickly, but one more time for our audience, when and where, what time, and who are your stakeholders involved?
All right, great. So it will be this Wednesday at the Ramada Hotel right here in Belize City. And it starts at 8:30, the opening ceremony. And we would like to take this time to highlight our exhibitors. We have Belize Electricity Limited, Belize Sugar Industries, Belize Defense Force, Wildlife Conservation Society, the Department of Environment, Statistical Institute of Belize. And we also have our geomentors. Geology and Petroleum Department as well. And then we have our geomentors. And they are Adeli Ramos, we have Andrea Rosado, Janelle Hemmans, and Keisha Rodriguez. And with that, we just want to close off thanking our sponsors. We can't do it without our sponsors. Our platinum sponsor is Digi, so we want to say a big thank you as always. And we have our silver sponsors, which is the Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, as well as the kids are getting treats. So Snackers, Crystal, and Shirley combined, the kids are gonna leave there pretty happy with their treats as well. We have support from Full Tech Systems Limited. We have a test drive station where students get on the computers and to test these applications. So we would just like to thank everyone.
Thank you, ladies, so much for coming
Thanks
in
for
this
having
morning.
us, Channel 5. You've been supporting us from day one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies. GIS is important. We need to continue to highlight. So we hope that you can come back and talk more about it.
Have a conversation, sure.
Yes, indeed. But we do have to go, and we want to say thank you to all of our other guests that came in this morning. And of course, thank you to the viewers for joining us as you do every day to start your morning right here with us at OIE. I have a birthday shout out. I know we have to wrap up, but I have a birthday shout out. And I want to say a happy birthday to my beautiful sister, Carolee Martinez. Happy birthday to you, my love. I hope you have a wonderful day today. And congratulations on your other milestone and graduating with your dental hygiene certificate. So I want to say a big happy birthday to you. I love you so much. From all of us here at home, have a wonderful birthday. And if you have a birthday shout out or just a question or a comment, you can drop us a line right here at OIE@channel5belize.com. You can also catch our live stream on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and check out our highlights on Instagram at OIE Belize. We're going to be here again tomorrow, so please do us the favor to join us when you open your eyes.
To start your morning right.
Be sure to keep your eyes, your minds,
and your hearts open.
Stay dry, Belize. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank. Our country, your bank.